Hello, good morning. It is the 3rd of April here in New Zealand. Good Friday, long weekend, and I often use the Easter long weekend as an opportunity to read Steiner's work about Easter, and see what emerges. And this year, I'm using the Easter mood to also read up on the BD 505 oak bark preparation. And I was hoping to actually make it, but when I called the home kill butcher near me, I couldn't go get the animal parts I need until next week, and I've actually postponed it till the following week. So we've got a good 10 days of like reading and meditating and dreaming into the oak bark preparation before making it here. If you'd like to come and come and be part of that, send me a message, reach out. I've ordered 3 sheep's heads. I only need 1, so there's 2 to go to other people, and then you can come and just watch and be part of it. I could also order more animal parts, but I want to make sure we have people here who are ready to process them. So that's where I'm at right now. And the last community call was a gathering with Kate from Toronto and Alan Clements from Dark Hollow Biodynamic. That I didn't actually talk through the updates that I normally do each call. So I thought I would hop on today, the holiday weekend, and just run through those to keep the log of developments intact. So my notes are activities with the Floral Compost Activator since the 6th of March. So off we go. There's quite a bit to share. 7th of March, I think, was that a Saturday? Let me go back. 7th of March, Saturday, I was invited to go to the Pukekohe Anglican Church to their Eco Fest, and I went with Grace from the community, the Waiuku Community Mara Kai Community Garden. I always get the words mixed up. Sorry, Grace. So we were sharing a table, and I had the floral compost activator, the snail mucin research, the CPP, and just all the normal display. But for the first time, I took along a bag of little bottles of water and offered people the chance to take it to try and see how they found it. And so I had like my mother liquid of the compost activator, and I was pouring just a few tablespoons into a 250 ml bottle of water, and then putting a label on it and telling people about the results that I've seen. Everyone was happy to take it, everyone, and really interested in May Bruce and her work. And it does seem like the more people I talk to, the more people I find are open to biodynamics, but they don't want to buy preparations made in another part of the country by people they've never met. It feels like in order to stay relevant, biodynamics actually needs to be hyper local. That's my take on it. Met lots of people at the Anglican Church, so welcome to the email list, welcome to Blue Borage, welcome to this strange ecosystem that's constantly evolving. Okay, next development was 12th of March, so the following Thursday, and this was a workshop as part of the project I'm doing with Ngātai e Ruapā here in Turko, funded by the Waikato District Council. Since getting that funding, they've also started to collaborate with Parakore. So through that collaboration, they got a carbon cycle compost box installed, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's so cool. So we scheduled my workshop on the floral compost activator for Thursday when the Hauora Hub was open for like a kaumātua a day. So Pauline and I got to talk to lots of different people who are based at Ngātai e Ruapā. And there is interest in continuing conversation and looking at uh, native plants, indigenous plants, and rongoa for the compost to then influence human health through the food grown in the soil. So there's a specific human condition that one of the rongoa practitioners, or the rongoa practitioners, I'm not sure how many are based at the PA, but she's working with this specific question. And I put forward the suggestion that the plant that works with that in the human realm, could we use that in the compost or in the garden to work in the soil at the same time? And what would that mean? What would that look like? So stay tuned as that evolves. Okay, then 16th. 16th. Saskia was here, Ecofluency, her New Zealand tour. And so we went, I picked her up from the airport, and we stayed in town. No, that's not what this day was. This was the end of Raranga Noho. I stayed an extra night in Hamilton. I've got stayed at a friend's house, left her with the bottle. Which friend? I haven't marked it in my diary. So yeah, I stayed an extra night in Hamilton after Noho, and got to do a compost consultation, garden consultation there, and left this friend with a bottle of the compost activator. Can't wait to see what she thinks of the results. Next up, the 18th of March, we did a compost move at Ngātai e Ruapā and Tuakau. So the carbon cycle compost boxes were originally in their car park, and we moved them over closer to the kitchen. And we also tested them in the Hauora hub. So we've got a photo of them in the middle of that space, but then it just made more sense to have them by the kitchen. And I added more compost activator then. Then 19th of March. So I went and did some research at the Tuakau Museum. I've been gone for a year because the museum working bee days are Thursday mornings, which was when my level 4 weaving classes were, and I just couldn't do both. So I'm going to start putting the activator onto the pollinator garden at the museum. I also went down to the local garden centre, River Road Nursery, which is right by the river, kind of down where Tuakau used to be before it moved up by the railway line. And I booked a workshop and then changed my mind. So it'll be Friday in May. I was going to do April, but I'm just watching the situation with petrol, and yeah, not sure that's the right place to be teaching. So more exciting news. The trials are all planned out with horticulture students and a horticulture training centre in Pukekohe. That's actually less related to the floral compost activator, more about the harakeke compost. What else? So when was equinox? I don't have that marked in my diary, but I did a brand new blend for the equinox, and it's got chili pepper flowers, it's got nasturtiums, it's got mugwort and lavender. I think there's 9 different plants. So that was really cool. really cool. The specific recipes and the specific blends unrelated to biodynamics, and the May Bruce's recipe is such a joy to work on. Okay, moving forward, 26th of March was the BFDI Seed Incubator meeting. So the BFDI is the Biodynamic Federation Demeter International, and Alex Edelson and Petra Derksen are hosting. This is now the extension of work they did last year to support seed production, to help make sure we've got organic seeds for growers in the future. Like, genetic engineering's coming. We need to prepare. So more news on that in the months ahead. I've got a lot of background work to do, all of it unfunded at this stage. So if you feel inclined to support the Seeds for the Soil, then yeah, much appreciated. 27th of March, I had a quick chat with Alice McSherry, Dr. Alice, who is coming on Flower Project. Oh, it's in 2 weeks' time. So she's done her PhD studies diving deep into a whole bunch of herbs and flowers, and the overlap with the Flower Project is just uncanny. So more on that soon. 28th of March, again with Grace. She invited me to go to a seed sowing workshop in central Auckland at OMG, the Organic Market Garden, with Levi. So Levi and I have been in the same circles ever since Blue Borage began, before Blue Borage began, and he's just one of those compost urban farming colleagues that I just adore hanging out with. And so at the end of his seed sowing workshop, I showed him the Harakeke compost, the snail mucin, and the floral compost activator. Left him with a bottle of the activator, and like, for him, when he saw it and I shook it up and he smelled it, he's such a foodie. It's like, it's sort of thinking of the food implications of it. So stay tuned for more on that, so he gets a chance to test it. And then the latest update is 2nd of April, which was yesterday. So the first of the transformative tidy-ups at the Pollinator Garden at the Tuakau Museum. So thank you to Anna Maria and Diana for coming along to that first session. I had one scheduled for last week, but it was like a heavy rain warning that I just decided not to promote it. We've got 2 more Thursdays at the Tuakau Museum. So yesterday we did 1/3 of the Pollinator Garden, and so there's another 2 hot compost piles to go, and then the whole back area should be nice and tidy and neat and ready to plant and scatter seeds and get it looking orderly again. I think it is important, especially if I'm talking to people in a town like Tuakau, who've had many decades using herbicide, indoctrinated into like heavy tilling, monoculture growing, that to introduce hot composting, circular gardening, biodynamics, floral compost activator, it kind of has to look neat and tidy for them. Yeah. So yesterday at the museum, I had a jar of the Radiance blend. That was the midsummer concoction. And this one here I made on the 13th of February. We're now 3rd of April, and it hasn't gone all kind of yucky and manky. This is a blend here made on, the 19th of April, which was the QR, so 6 biodynamic herbs, and then 8 other herbs that I've added for the peach pits, or the peach compost that was all kind of fruit flies and a bit yucky, and the chickens from when 5 chickens were slaughtered by like a weasel or something, and they all went into one fairly small midsummer compost. So I made that blend for the chickens and the peaches, the 2 separate compost piles, and I haven't had to use it. I've added, I think, twice when I could smell it, and I haven't added anything in the last 10 days, 2 weeks. So yeah, I'm hanging on to that blend for those 2 compost piles. And then this is what I made on Wednesday to show at the museum yesterday. I haven't got a label on this, so that will be good for another week or 10 days as I go out and demonstrate. So that's the QR compost activator updates. And then I do like making a batch when I do these live calls. So today's batch, turn the camera down. Hope you can see that. This is for a research question. I want to be careful not to say too much. More and more with my weaving homework, I'm harvesting harakeke from land where there's been glyphosate applied. And so I had a chat with the glyphosate and came up with, or was given, a remedy to use on the land, sort of like an offering. So there's the honey, tiny amount. It's, what is it, 1/4 of a teaspoon, 1/8 of a teaspoon? It really doesn't need much. And ideally, I would rather use honey sourced from the land where this mixture is going back to. And I know a beekeeper in that area, so I'll see if I can make that happen. So I've been, I like starting off by shaking up the honey so that that's all done. And then the mixture I was given, I can't find the flowers at the moment. One of them was thistle, and I had a picture in my head of the purple flower. My thistles might flower before the end of autumn, but for now, just as a compromise, I found a leaf. So I cut that in. The next flower was blackberry, and again the blackberries aren't flowering, so I went and got a leaf and I'll cut that, add in the stalk, and then the other flower was gorse. So interesting that these were 3 prickly plants. So shake that up. There was a 4th plant, cleavers came through as well, and I think cleavers might be a spring weed. I haven't seen cleavers for a while. Giving that a little dose of Jupiter, and that will sit on the meditation table for 24 hours. And when I go back to harvest harakeke from spaces that have had glyphosate, then I'll add a dilution of this blend as an offering and see what shifts energetically. So let me know if you have any questions. And those are the updates for this week. Sending Easter blessings to everyone, and I'll definitely be back on the 17th of April with Alice McSherry. Really looking forward to that, and perhaps before then with voice notes and just the normal posts as I do my own deep dive into the traditional biodynamic oak bark preparation, and that timed with our autumn Easter mood. So best wishes to everyone. Bye for now.